Down to my last 2 cups of coffee in here. I'm gonna make sure I savor them. Good morning, friends, and welcome to Wednesday. We're already about halfway through the week, and as you can hear by the sound, I'm making coffee. Also, we've got D&D tomorrow. I am not prepared. But you know what? That's okay. I mean, I have a general idea of what we'll be doing tomorrow, and like I've said before, the majority of our sessions are going to be dictated by what the players do. Anyway, coffee is about done, so I'm going to go ahead and make that so we can share the first sip, because we haven't done that in a few days. Oh yeah, that's good cup. I had a good night of sleep last night. I don't know what it has been the past couple nights, but I've slept very well. Maybe it's just naturally being tired or something, but whatever it is, it's been helping me sleep very well at night, and I appreciate it. It's been a long time since I was able to actually go to sleep and stay asleep throughout the night, and the night before last, that was a bit of a struggle, admittedly. I did run into that trouble where I went to bed at like 8:30 the night before last, and I woke up at 2 in the morning, and for a moment I was like, oh, am I just gonna be up for the day? But I figured, no, I'm gonna be really freaking tired if I do that the rest of the day. So I just laid back down, and next thing I knew, I fell back asleep, and I slept peacefully. Peacefully, my goodness. I can English, I swear. And then last night, I slept really well too. I didn't go to bed until after midnight, but I still slept really well, and then I woke up at like 8-ish, more or less. So it was a pretty normal night of sleep, and I enjoyed it. And I am just now rendering yesterday's vlog, and we'll be posting that as soon as it's done, so it's later than normal. I usually do like to try to schedule these to be posted at 9 a.m., but it is now almost 10:30, so we're a little late, but that's okay. In terms for plans for the day, I don't plan on playing Dragon Quest XI again today, because I feel like I've sort of burned myself out on that. I remember that there's a reason why I play that game in short bursts only, because if I play for too long, then I kind of end up getting burnt out, which is weird, because I don't have that effect with any other Dragon Quest game. It could be because I've already beaten Dragon Quest XI, and it sort of has that Persona 5 effect to me, where since I've already beaten Persona 5, it's significantly harder for me to get through elements of Royal, because I've already seen it all. But then, what about other games I've played all the way through? Like Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I can play that for hours on end, no problem, even though I've already beaten it before. So why is it that specific games give me trouble when I want to play through them again and try to beat them again? It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it's some sort of burnout, maybe you're just not enjoying the experience as much as you did the first time. But there are some games where I could play them over and over and over again and never get bored of them. And a lot of them are in the same genre or even the same series, so I don't know what the deal is there, because these games are fantastic. Persona 5 Royal, Dragon Quest XI S, they're both masterpieces. I love them. But I just can't bring myself to play them as frequently as I would have the first time around. Considering that line of thinking even more, I think it's because of how much I played them the first time. When I first played Persona 5, back when it came out in 2017, I absolutely binged that game. That was the only game I played for 4 months straight, basically. I did take a month break in between the initial 2 months and the last 2 months, but after that, I picked the game back up and I just breezed through it until the ending. I remember doing it in one sitting, going from the end of the 6th palace all the way to the end of the game, I think, all in like one single day. And it was insane. I loved it, but I feel like playing it that much heavily burned me out. On top of that, Persona 5 hype back in the day was incredible. I mean, it's still the same now, but back when it was just the original Persona 5, like, freaking all my friends were into it and stuff, and I think the hype around the game is kind of what burned me out on it now. Which isn't a bad thing, but still. I will beat the games eventually. I just think I need to take it a little slower, especially with the Dragon Quest XI, since a lot of what I'm doing just constitutes grinding anyway, whereas there's not really any real grinding in Persona 5 Royal. Basically, as long as you're fighting enemies you come across, not running from every fight, you will always be at the level you need to be. But Dragon Quest is different, and I don't mind the grind usually. But I think I prefer grinding when there are random encounters, which is a take you'll probably never hear from anyone ever. But I personally do prefer random encounters when it comes to grinding. It's a weird take, but that's just me. I guess growing up with old school RPGs gave me an appreciation for them. It takes a lot less effort to grind against enemies when all you really need to do is walk around, but in modern RPGs where you have to like run up to the enemies and attack them and stuff, I feel like it just takes up a bit more time, which is weird, but that could just be me being impatient. Honestly, that's very well a possibility. I'm normally very patient, especially when it comes to RPGs, but I think the closer I get to the end of a game, the more I'm like, I just want to get this over with. Which wasn't the case with Trails from Zero, thankfully, because I promised myself specifically that I would not do that. Because I've done that with Trails of Cold Steel 2, and I've told my story about that multiple times. But maybe I need to adopt that mentality with Dragon Quest XI. Just remember to take it slow, and not try to speed through the ending like I want to. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention, Nintendo dropped some news on the Xenoblade 3 DLC, and we're all going crazy over it. All this new Xenoblade 3 news has me very much fighting the temptation to boot up Xenoblade 3 right freaking now and begin my New Game Plus playthrough. Because I've been wanting to get some damn writing done for days, and I'm finally sitting down to doing it. So to sate my Xenoblade 3 love right now, I'm just listening to this shit while I write. Out of all the games I could have picked up again, I started playing Xenogears. I don't know what it is. I've been really in the mood to play Xenogears, but since last year, I had plans to do a Let's Play for it, a blind Let's Play, since I've never beaten the game proper, and heck, I've barely made it out of the first dungeon before. I've since made much more progress, but when I first got the game on the PS3, I barely played it for some reason, and I don't even know why, but now I'm just absolutely enthralled by the world, the characters, the design, the music. It's all done by Yasunori Mitsuda, and he is amazing. And even the combat. I think maybe that's why I didn't play for so long. The combat sort of baffled me a little bit at first, but the more I eventually got used to it, the more I started having a better time with the game, and the more I started enjoying what I was doing, pretty much. And I did do a lot of research today when trying to play, because I got to those who have played, I got to the Calamity boss fight, which is in, I think, the second dungeon, technically. Maybe the third, I don't know what to call it. It feels like the second dungeon. And got my butt kicked by him, because I didn't realize how valuable accuracy and evasion buffs and debuffs were. So, once I did a little bit of research, I'm like, oh, crap, there's this whole mechanic I should be using. And once I did that, the boss fight was an absolute pushover. And yeah, I'm starting to learn about death blows more and how important those are, since you do very pitiful damage outside of death blows, so they are very important to the combat I've learned. So it is my goal to eventually learn all of those. But I had a fantastic time playing, and I will definitely be playing more, probably not long after recording this, to tell you the truth, because I just really want to play more. The story is so fun. Well, I'm sure it's going to get depressing, but you know what? I like me a sad story. It's evening now, and I have no voice apparently. Maybe I just need to talk a little more, then it'll come back. Oh yeah, it's coming back. But I succeeded at apparently playing Xenogears most of the day, and I have no regrets. was nice. I made quite a bit of story progress, and once I shed myself of that pressure of doing a blind Let's Play for it, I immediately started enjoying it more. So, yeah, I'm having a good time, but I have little energy left, so I am going to conclude today's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time.